Hi everyone, this is Whitney for Wish Loves This, and today I'd like to talk to you about some ideas for what to DIY and then what not to DIY for your wedding day, based on some experiences that we've had over the years with weddings that we've coordinated. My first idea is for what to DIY, and one idea is really just a very simple one, and that's your save the dates. Normally your save the dates don't have to be overly elaborate, overly formal, or overly expensive. They can be something small, something fun, something that reflects you two and your personalities. And this is really a good opportunity to do a DIY project. So I don't necessarily recommend that the save the dates match the invitations. They can if you'd like them to, but they don't have to. So whatever you feel would kind of match the color scheme of your wedding. Maybe use a monogram if you're gonna have a monogram made, and maybe just match the personality of you and your fiance versus that of the wedding. That would be a really good save the date project. Another idea for a good DIY project would be your signage. At a wedding, there are so many different kinds of signs, from your escort cards to your table names or table numbers, to your programs, to your welcome sign, to any kind of signs you have on the table letting guests know where the gifts should be left off, what drinks are going to be served, that sort of thing. So I think it's really fun when those signs match. They have a cohesive look, they have kind of an element of fun and personality and just kind of a flair that matches the look of your wedding. And again, that's such a fun opportunity for a little bit of your own personality splashed into it. Another fun place to do a DIY would be a display of some sort. You could do a dessert display such as candy, donuts, chocolate chip cookies, chocolate cookie sandwiches or ice cream sandwiches, some type of a wine and chocolate or wine and truffle combination, that sort of thing. You could also do something really fun as a nod to the groom. If he's into whiskey, maybe setting up a whiskey bar, doing something with beer, that type of thing. I think that displays are so helpful for so many purposes. It really gives your wedding personality. It really reflects the likes and interests of one or both of you. And it also gives people an opportunity to engage with something at your wedding. Sometimes it's difficult as a guest because you feel like you have either the option of sitting in a seat or being up on the dance floor. But when you give them the opportunity to do something else, like a photo booth or like one of these displays that I've mentioned, gives them an opportunity to do something fun and engage in a new way. My last tip for a good DIY project would be your guest book. You could absolutely do a traditional guest book that is a book that opens up with pages and lines and the guests can sign it, but you could also do something that's a little bit more fun, such as a piece of artwork, maybe a canvas with your names on it, your monogram, a piece of art that's meaningful to you. We've had couples have their friends who are artists do a personal piece of artwork on a canvas and have guests sign around it. This is again, an opportunity to make it personal, and it also gives you a great opportunity to take it home and put it up on the wall, which is definitely a perk over a book that's a more standard piece that would probably end up sitting on a shelf or maybe even your garage. So my next round are things that I would not necessarily recommend DIYing. The first is the most popular suggestion that clients will bring to us, and that would be doing their own flowers. And as much I can see why that's enticing. I can see why a couple could say, hey, that's really an opportunity to save, because it's definitely one of those places that you look at your floral estimate and say, oh my goodness, how could flowers cost so much? I'll just do it myself. But a few things to think about are this. You never really know what's in season, and so you're going to be getting to the flower market. If you go to the flower mart downtown, for instance, you're kind of subject to whatever is available, and so you're really kind of taking a chance, whereas a professional florist would know where to get what they need. They've probably been to the flower mart at least 3 or 4 times that week, and they know exactly what's there. They know who their favorite vendors are, and they know what to order if it's not going to be available in the flower mart, so that's a big plus. Another tip is that if you do them yourself, when are you going to do them? You really don't want to do them days before the wedding because they'll wilt, or they just are not going to look fresh and in full bloom. So they're really something that you want to do the day before the wedding, if not on the wedding day itself. Now your florists, they have the time to put those arrangements together, but on your wedding day, you do not want to be sitting there making flower arrangements. If you have 150 guests, you could have 15 tables. So that's 15 centerpieces, plus all your other tables, like your welcome table, your guest book table, your sweetheart table, that sort of thing. And then even if, let's say, you bring all the flowers in and you decide you're going to make them yourself on your wedding day, how are they going to get to the venue? You're not going to want to put on your wedding dress, and you're not going to want your bridesmaids to put on their bridesmaids dresses and transport flowers that are full of water and could potentially cause a stain. So that is definitely one that I recommend you leave to the professionals. And while we're speaking of leaving it to the professionals, two other tips I have are your invitations. As I said earlier, save the dates are a great DIY opportunity, but I would definitely leave your wedding invitations to the professionals. They'll be able to put something together that lasts, that holds nicely, that doesn't melt in the heat, all those considerations that you need to make when you're actually building something as important as your wedding invitation. And then the last thing I'll say that I don't recommend DIYing is kind of a more like broad general thing, but I don't recommend that you bring family members or friends in as your professional wedding vendors unless they are in fact a professional wedding vendor. Wedding vendor is the operative word because they might be a professional club DJ, but a club DJ does not necessarily know how to pack a wedding dance floor, to make formal announcements, and to properly let guests know when one thing is transitioning into a new event. So same for your uncle. He might be a great photographer and have a great camera, but he doesn't know how to quickly run to be there for the first kiss and then quickly run back to be in the perfect place as you recess down the aisle and you've been announced for the first time as husband and wife. There's an art to it, there's a method, there's a system, and only someone with years of experience will know that. So definitely use professionals. I hope this has been helpful, and I recommend that you check out our YouTube channel, Wish Loves This, for more helpful videos.